there is this dreadful out-of-step thing that's going on with the Labor Party right now. They haven't damaged any of their members in any way, shape or form. They haven't dropped them from front benches. They haven't penalised them. Are they all earning travel allowance while they're sitting in isolation in Canberra, having gone to the protest, then got on the plane and flown south? I mean, all of these things, Daisy, to my mind, point that there are two different sets of standards being applied here, and Anthony Albanese's got it all wrong.
I think so, and you know, I was so hopeful with Anthony Albanese. I thought he was doing such a good job of dragging Labor back towards the centre after Bill Shorten had dragged it towards the ideology of identity politics and climate change alarmism, because he just paid a little bit too much attention to Twitter and thought that that was an accurate reflection of the general public's view, which obviously it's not. Anthony Albanese, he came in and he was like, okay, look, we messed up, all right, we're going to listen, we're going to, you know, move back to being the party of the workers. You know, he made all the right noises, but he hasn't come out and condemned just the recklessness and hypocrisy of these protesters and the sort of futility in importing an issue. Well, you can draw parallels here, certainly with Indigenous incarceration, and there is always police brutality and abuse of power everywhere you go, because, you know, we're all human beings are flawed. But trying to draw this absolute direct parallel with the Black Lives Matter movement in the USA, which has a completely different historical context to the sort of friction between police and some of the black community, it's absolutely ludicrous. They're just kind of trying to do what's on trend, etc., etc., and for the Labor Party to just sort of roll with that, to me, it's disappointing. I mean, I in principle, you know, I'm not at all adverse to the sentiment of the protest. I mean, you know, I think we can all agree that police brutality is a bad thing. We can all agree that racism is a bad thing, and a very bad thing, and we can all agree that people have the right to peaceful protest. But the hypocrisy here of the people who are organising and endorsing this protest, all of whom screamed that Scott Morrison was practically the devil for not shutting the schools and not instigating a full lockdown. They said that the people who protested the lockdown laws were irresponsible and hated old people and wanted old people to die and were risking everyone's lives. And now, oh, their preferred cause comes along, and all of a sudden it's worth them risking their lives for, because of what a wonderful thing we're fighting for, etc., etc. And for Anthony Albanese not to call that out, well, sorry, disappointed is the word of the day, I think.
Well, especially when members of Parliament can get up in the Parliament, can speak their mind rather loudly. They don't have to join a march and walk around the streets grandstanding and virtue signalling, even though the cause, as you say, may well be right. This is what Anthony Albanese had to say on this week.
Well, look, I made it very clear, Kieran, before, during and after, including consistently, whenever I've been asked, publicly and privately, that people should follow the health advice. And therefore, I didn't attend the demonstrations because the health advice is that such large gatherings are a risk.
All of which proves that Mr Albanese is beholden to what the factions throw at him as delegates for his front bench, because he should be stepping people aside for being at a fundamental out-of-step situation with the view of most Australians.